G'day and welcome to episode 63 of the Guy Who Sews podcast. My name is Sean and this is my weekly podcast where I share my quilting adventures. Come see what I've done, what I'm currently working on and what's coming up in the near future. And I'd like to welcome both new and returning guests to the podcast. But if you are new, I would love it if you said hi in the comments. We all know we have a new friend. But let's go ahead and get started with the podcast with my works in progress. The first one I want to show you is one that I've shown a couple of times in the past, which is the Express Yourself. It is a sew along that I'm doing with Stephanie from Quilting with Stephanie Stitches, and it is a free pattern from Riley Blake. It's called Express Yourself. I'll put the link in the description, and it's a lot of fun. I've done 5 blocks already, and I was hoping to get more done, but I actually only got 1 done, and it's in a very nice turquoisey blue. I'll bring it up just a little closer. I'm using solids for this. I'm using mostly scraps from previous projects, which is really fun when I can shop my stash. But you'll get to see more. I was hoping to get 2 more blocks done, but I didn't quite make it in time to get it recorded for this podcast. The other thing I've been working on is a new project, and it is called Trinkets by Alison Glass. It is a pattern that's a couple of years old, and they actually have a sew-along that's starting up very soon. I'm not participating in the sew-along per se. I'm using it more as a practice for FPP, or foundation paper piecing, before I try and tackle Toasty the Dragon, which you may have seen a couple of episodes ago when I bought that pattern. So I was actually able to make 5 different blocks. The nice thing about this Trinkets pattern is that you go from simple like this, where it's just like a square inside a square, and these are all 4-inch blocks, and this is kind of how it works. You just kind of draw sew along these lines. So that one's that. I started off real simple because I've done this in the past, but it's been about 12 months and I had to relearn it all over again. The next one I did was this cute arrow, and that's how it looks on the back. And then this one gave me a bit of trouble. It's supposed to be a bow tie. It's not perfect. It doesn't line up in the center. And you can probably see here I had to add a little piece because I didn't quite flip over enough there. My mate Jack and I were very good friends on this one here, and that's the back, but I did learn a lot from that experience. And then yesterday I made this tree, and again Jack came out for that one. And then this one you all haven't seen it. You might have seen half of it yesterday on the live, but you didn't see the finished project. It's meant to be a cube, and I think it turned out really nicely. And so that's the back of that one again. So I'm having a lot of fun. I'm learning a lot from this experience, and there's a total of 40 blocks, and I'm just kind of picking and choosing which ones I like to do. So that's my works in progress. So now let's move on to our week in review. And if you're new to the channel, this is a series of videos, mostly me sewing, but some of the dogs and any other adventures we get up to. So I hope you enjoy. Last week I asked on the podcast what your one quilting tip was, and I absolutely loved and adored every single comment that I received. I'm still working my way through some of the comments, so if I haven't answered you yet, don't worry, I will as soon as I physically can. But a lot of people said take your time with your projects, which is something I've come to really embrace in the last couple of months. And then also, finished is better than perfect. If you're entering into a show, perfect is better. But otherwise, if it's a small mistake, you're probably the only one that's ever going to see it. So I think that's absolutely fantastic advice. So this week, I was very curious what sort of content you would like to see on my channel in the upcoming months. Would you like to see more lives? Would you like to see some tutorials? certain projects, that sort of thing there. I would love to hear in the comments what you would like to see coming up. So now it's time to talk about my goals. Last week I wanted to do some work on the Express Yourself, which I achieved, the Trinkets, which I achieved as well, and then some on the Art East projects, which is the Mythical Darksons and the Wizard of Oz, and sadly I didn't get to do that. So this week my goals are to try and do some more work on the Express Yourself, because that is a time-limited thing I'm doing it, so along with Stephanie Stitches, and we're finishing it up about 3 weeks, so I really need to get a hustle on that one. I do have this all chain pieced, so these are 2 more blocks, so half an hour and this will be done. And then I really want to cut out the blocks at least, or the fabric at least, for one of the Art East projects. Let me know if you'd like to see the Mythical Darksons or the Wizard of Oz first. I think we'll let the viewers decide which one I'll do next. Let me know what your goals are for this week as well. I'd love to hear. So in case you missed it, I had one video go out during the week. It was my live, The Breakery with the Guy Who Sews, yesterday morning, and I had a very special guest. It was Chris from Sew to Distance, and she is very special to me because she was probably the first YouTuber that I started watching in the quilting world. So it was actually a really cool feeling for me to actually be able to meet her and chat to her and hang out with her for about an hour and a half. We worked on some projects. I goofed up some stuff with my FPP, but we all had a good laugh. We all had a good time. And if you missed that, definitely check it out. And also check out Chris's channel. She has some wonderful content. And yeah, definitely head over there and check it out. And if it's something you like, please consider subscribing to her as well, because she'd definitely appreciate that. So now it's time to talk about my upcoming videos. And the first one I want to talk about is this Saturday morning, my Breakery with the Guy Who Sews. I'm going to have my special guest, Becca, from the Sew Becca channel, join me. We are going to sew together Clue 2 of the Village Green Puzzle Mystery Quilt by Trinkets. And then this is my cool little package of all the fabric. And I am doing the lavender colorway. And as an example, I'm going to show you the ones we did for Clue 1, so you can get a better look at the different fabrics that I'm using. She is doing a different colorway. I cannot remember the name of it. So you'll have to come by and check out that as well. And if you want to get signed up for this, there's still time, but time is running out. Trinkets reached out and let us all know that at the beginning of April, that's it. If you want to get in on this, definitely do so now. Use my code SeanVillage. You'll get a free gift as well if you do sign up. But yeah, if you're on the fence, it's probably time to hop off the fence and just jump into it, because if you wait too much longer, it's not going to happen, unfortunately, and you'll just have to wait for the next one. It's a lot of fun. If you do sign up, they'll ship out the first 2 clues right away to you, so that way you can go ahead and get caught up as well. One more video I'd like to get done in the very near future, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it this week or possibly next, it's just a quick overview and review of the Mid-Atlantic Quilt Show. I talked about it in quite some depth with Becca on her live a couple weeks ago, but I'm going to record just a quick overview, what I liked, what I didn't like, and that sort of thing there in the near future. So keep an eye out for that. And so now it is time for me to be able to share some happy news with you, a completed quilt top. Over the last couple of months, I had the Battle of the Fabrics, and we finished it up quite recently, where you got to choose between the 24 fabrics I brought out for you to vote on, where you got to choose the Ultimate Champion, and the Australia fabric won, and I was pretty stoked about that, because that was my favorite. I was really hoping it was going to win, and it's always nice when your team wins. So I said that I would use that fabric, or some of that fabric, as part of a quilt, and I showed one of the blocks last week, and I'm very excited to say that I worked pretty hard on it over during the week to make the other 3 blocks. So now the quilt top is complete, and this is what it looks like. This is the first part, and then the second, and then I'll pull it back a little bit so that way you can kind of see the whole thing. And so the Australia fabric is the center of each of the stars, and then the background, or the colorful fabric, is part of the Walkabout collection, and I believe it's the same line or very similar line to the center, and then the rest is Kona Black. And I just kind of alternated the background and the stars just to give it a little bit of definition and to make it a little more interesting. So I would love to hear what you think of this. I'm very happy with it. I think it looks really neat, and I'm glad that it's done. And actually I was able to use the Australia fabric in a quilt, because sometimes you get this pretty fabric and you're just scared to use it. So thank you all for pushing me to actually use some of it. It looks beautiful, and I'm so glad that I did. So that's pretty much wraps up today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, definitely hit the like button. Share with a friend. Tell a friend or 2 or 100. The more the merrier here. So thank you all again. I hope you all have a great week and happy sewing, and we'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.